guys, it's time to do not only what's coming up for December, but we're going to take a little look at the last thing we wrapped up for November. Hey guys, if you are new here, welcome to the Book Path. I'm Nicole, and if this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. As you can see, festive season is finally here. It is now upon us. This in the background will probably change out as time goes on, when we break out more of the holiday decor. We haven't fully decorated yet. We will be getting our tree shortly, and we'll go from there. As far as doing this video, I decided to do it as a combo video just because I only really read one more book for November, so it seemed a little silly for me to do an entire wrap-up video for one book. So I figured we could go ahead and cover that first, and then we'll get into what we're going to do for the month of December. And then we'll get into what we're going to do for the month of December and how we plan to finish out 2024. So the last book that I read was part of our spinner wheel, and I will go ahead and post that little spinner clip here. I don't think I did this in other videos, but I'm going to go ahead and give a warning. It's not so much flashy, but it is a spinner wheel. So if you have anything that, might be triggered by that, once you hear me start talking again at the end, I'm just warning you that it's spinning, and I just felt like I should do that because I didn't do that in the other ones. But go ahead, and here is our last spin. Okay, and we are back for our final spin. This will probably be the final because it's the last week. It's Thanksgiving week this week, so there will be busyness. But let's go ahead and spin and see what we get. Okay, and for our last spin, I ended up picking up the book Her Soul for Revenge. This is book 2 in the Souls trilogy. Obviously, we know I gave Her Soul to Take 3 stars. This one I actually ended up giving 4 stars. In this one, you meet Juniper, and then you also meet Zane, who we kind of see these characters a little bit in Her Soul to Take, but this is basically their story and how they fit into I think it's Abalom, the city or the town, and what's going on there. You find out that Juniper was meant to actually be one of the sacrifices, and she manages to escape. And so she's been on the run. Only when her brother is sacrificed in her stead, which is what we find out in Her Soul to Take, does she come back, and she swears revenge upon anybody involved. I think it's called the Liberi, or is the group in control of all of this. And so that is when she makes her pact with Zane, who is a demon, and they go from there to basically enact her revenge for what she went through and the loss of her brother, and just seeking it out. So she is a very, very angry person, and I felt honestly that because of the revenge, she is a strong female character. She takes care of herself, she fights for herself, she's doesn't shy away from things, and she's a really good fit for Zane, because Zane is a little bit, there's some masochism, there's some sadism involved with these books, and so the spice that happens, because obviously there's still explicit spice in here, it fits better for the way that their relationship dynamic is. It fits better for how she is versus how it was between Leon and Raylan in Her Soul to Take, where I felt Raylan was more on the innocent, naive kind of side, so the spice didn't really fit for them, whereas she's a little bit more, Juniper's a little bit more aggressive, she's a little bit more no nonsense, she's a little bit more rebellious, so the spice and the type of spice involved fits them a little bit more. I also enjoyed how they kind of go about the relationship a little bit more. It's still not fully developed to where I'd really want to be, kind of seeing how it goes, but it fits more in line with the storyline. And the storyline in general, how it intermingles with kind of the overall kind kind of arc or story of what's going on in Avalon. This book did a much better job of that. So that's why I ended up giving it 4 stars. Once again, check the trigger warnings and before reading it, because there is a lot in here. We are dealing with cults, we are dealing with demons, we are dealing with very explicit spice that is much more on a kind of a punishment scale, if that makes sense. There's violence, there is gore, there's things, so definitely check the trigger warnings on it. But this will, we completed our spin, and this also was one of our picks for our male character for Magical Readathon for the year in Aurelium, because obviously, we're still trying to finish up those characters before we start our new one. And this was actually a backstock or backlog for September's pick, which was to inspect a dark, mysterious pool on the corridor floor, and that was to read a scary or dark book. This is a kind of horror romance, so it fit that pretty well, and so we went ahead and we finished that off. So now that brings us to December and the last month of 2024, and as much as I would just love to sit down and read nothing but festive fun, we still have some stuff to do. We have been ticking away, we have been crossing off a lot on our list. We still have so much to get done, but I think I found a way to do it. So we won't be doing a spinner wheel this month, but we are going to knock off all the lists. And basically, we're gonna kind of look at doing their own videos as we complete each thing, because a lot of things are left over from other readathons. So I really want to kind of just tackle them all in one go and then do like a video that'll follow up on how we've done with that. So obviously, first up, we are still continuing Malice for the readathon for the, I think it's the Banished Lands. This one says The Faithful and the Fallen, but they're going through all the series with Becca in the books and a few others. I will go ahead and link down below if you're interested in joining. We are on book 1 for November and December, and I think the live show for it's going to be sometime in January. But I didn't get as far as I wanted to. It's not a bad read. I do like it. I'm feeling a lot of different kind of myths in here. For whatever reason, I feel a little Arthurian thrown in here. I'm not sure, because like I said, I'm still very, very early on into the book, but it is very interesting. You basically have this world that humanity's kind of fled to, not knowing that there were these ancient giants and there was kind of this big war, and now you kind of have the remnants and the giants are kind of rising again, and there's all these omens going on that something big's going to happen. It's told in multi-POV from all different perspectives. You have a second-born son, I think, that wants to be king, and he may or may not be a little bit more towards the evil side. You have a young boy who is growing up kind of in the countryside, dreams of being a knight. You have a knight who is now to protect one of the princes. So you have all these different storylines kind of going on, and you're discovering the world and what's going to kind of happen. But the writing style is very easy. It's a lot better than The Wheel of Time. I know I keep comparing it, but these are both very high-end type fantasy books. So we are going to be trying to dabble in this a little bit at a time each day to get this big old chunker done. But like I said, so far so good with it. We're going to keep continuing. So next up, we are going to accomplish or try to finish the last book in the main 8 for the Every Romanticy challenge, and that was to read a Friends to Lovers book, and we had picked Blood Mercy by Villa Roth. As of right now, I've started this book. It hasn't fully grabbed me yet, but there's a little bit of intrigue, and I think I'm finding the male perspective, because this is dual POV. I'm finding it a little bit better on his storyline. And basically you have a human world that there's this girl, and I think her name is Cassie, and I'm not fully sure what's going on with her. She's the bastard daughter of the king, and the king is not very nice. And so he kind of treats her a little bit, less than, and she's supposed to kind of stay out of sight. So then you also have the Hesperines, which is this vampiric race, and they've been kind of summoned to meet with the humans to go over a new treaty that hasn't been done for thousands of years to kind of coexist in peace. and you have kind of like the gods at large. You have like the god of war, which is the one that the humans, you know, kind of worship. And then you have the Hesperenes, which have a goddess, and to them, it's like a goddess of mercy and love, and they understand like life and they can feel it. Whereas the humans regard the goddess of the Hesperenes as kind of like heathenistic and just very not, you know, nice. And so they're all meeting up, and the male Hesperene, I think his name is Leo, and he hasn't met the girl yet, but I guess he's scenting her because he can feel like the emotions and sense in the air. So I think I'm getting to the part where they're going to be close to meeting to do the friends to lovers, but I don't know. Like I said, this is a very long book, and I just started, but we're going to go ahead and continue on with that because this is also going to be a friend recommend book for the Every Romantasy Challenge, because I've seen it on a lot of booktube recommendations. So we're going to go ahead and use that. I have no idea what microtropes it's going to be. And I don't think we're going to get the Pirates and Vikings out of this, but you know what? We are so close to the end of the year that this is going to be it, and whatever we get from Blood Mercy is what we're going to walk away with from the Every Romantasy Challenge. So I will probably film a video at the end of Blood Mercy to let you know what we kind of checked off on and how we finished the Every Romantasy Challenge. So next up, we are backlogged with our Cocky Hero picks. We were supposed to be doing one a month, and I just never got to them for like, I think like the last 3 months. And of course, we're going to be picking a new one this month. So we are going to be picking these ones up again. The first 3 I've already mentioned in previous videos, so I'm not going to go over them, but I will show the graphics for them. And that is Secret Keeper, Merciless King, and Cocky Protector. But of course, we are going to be adding a December pick because we're gonna pick them up. We're gonna get them done. And so for December, we are choosing Cocky Contender by J.M. Kelly. And basically I've been throwing punches since I was old enough to remember. They call me the lion, a sexy tattooed beast in a cage. I gave it all up after my brother's accident, and now I'm just trying to figure out how to save my family's legacy and get over a broken heart. I've been in love with my friend Soraya since the 9th grade. Too bad she's in love with someone else. I even have the broken jaw to prove it. My life is a mess until a smoking, hot little firecracker with a zesty attitude walks into my gym and turns everything upside down. She's keeping secrets, something or someone she's running from, and I'm gonna find out. I won't let her run anymore. I'll prove she's worth the fight. I must pull off the biggest one of my life. I'm ready to battle in and out of the octagon for her. I'm ready to save my family's livelihood and win the woman of my dreams. I'm ready to battle for my destiny. Don't think you know how this fight is going to turn out. So that is going to be our December Cocky Hero pick. And so for all 4 of these books that we're going to be doing, I'm thinking I might just try to do like a week of Cocky Hero book club reading, and we'll get through all of those. If they're as good as they normally are, it might not even take me the whole week. But we're going to go ahead and just do that and do like a themed video just for the Cocky Hero Club, and hairs in my face, and just kind of get through all of those and get ourselves caught up for the new year on the Cocky Hero Book Club. So what that is going to leave us with is all the backlog books that we need to get done for the Magical Readathon Year in Aurelium to finish out the 2 characters that we had before we go on to the new one. Now, I know that G over at Book Roast, who hosts Magical Readathon, is doing the Lightfall that she normally does in December. I will go ahead and link below all the information about that. I think it's like the 3rd week of December. I don't know yet if I'm going to participate. We will see what we get through and what we need to get through, because there is, if you've done Lightfall before, you know, you are kind of in this town, almost like Hogsmeade for like Harry Potter, and all the different stores have a different prompt, and you can either go from store to store and read prompt to prompt, or you can stay in one store. And I cannot remember the name of the store right now, but I think there was one where the prompt for it was to read something that you've been meaning to get done by the end of the year. So obviously that would fit all the books here in the magical, you know, in the Year in Aurelium. So depending how we're going, we might do that. If for some miraculous reason I get through all of these before that week, then maybe I will just participate for the heck of it, just to read some festive reads or do whatever. We'll touch base, but I do want to go ahead and link it so that you guys have the information if you're following along. If you yourself are participating in the Magical Readathon, you can go ahead and see if, you know, Lightfall is gonna be able to be something you can do. Obviously, it's a hectic month for a lot of people, holiday wise, reading wise, trying to get your goals done. So, you know, it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and go through what we need to get done month by month for each character of what still is going on. So, I'm not going to give too much of like what's going on in the other books because we've already gone over those. I will give you stuff for the December picks. But first and foremost, we still have to read for our female character, our October pick, which was to read a currently popular book. And so for that one, we were going to finish up the Souls trilogy and read Soul of a Witch. Honestly, I'm looking forward to this one the most out of all of the books because the characters of Everly and Callum, who is the couple in this one, they've just struck a little bit more of a chord with me than the other characters so far, and I'm curious to see their dynamic because Everly seems a little bit more quiet, soft-spoken. She is a witch, and she has summoned an archdemon, which is of higher rank than Leon or Zane, and he's gonna be a lot more powerful, but he's come off so far as maybe a little bit more like chivalrous. I could be mistaken because obviously these kind of contain a certain type of spice, so I'm curious to see how that type of spice is going to play into their relationship dynamic, or if they spin it and you're getting a different type of spice in this one. But I am looking forward to their story the most out of the trilogy so far. But this one will be for the October pick, and once we finish this, we will also complete the Souls trilogy, so that will be a series done, which you know that we have been trying to finish off as many series as we could this year. I think we might have started more than we finished, but you know what, we will be able to finish with this one. So next up, we have our November picks. So like I said, we got through quite a bit, so we're not that far behind in this. But for November, for our male character, was to basically read an epic or high fantasy. And so for that one, I had a one on my list for a while, and yes, Goodreads counted it as a high fantasy, so we're gonna count it. And that is Bloodguard by C.C. Robson. This is basically like a fantasy competition combat with elves and I think it's humans, and gladiator style combat. So it was just really interesting. I mean, you can see kind of in the end page, you see like the gladiators and the beasts and everything. So it's gonna be interesting, but you have kind of, I think it's gonna be an enemies to lovers. You have somebody who wants revenge, and is he gonna instead fall in love with the elves instead of seeking his revenge for them? The main character also needs to win so that he can kind of be granted a favor from the elves, and he's doing it, I think, on behalf of an ailing sister. So we're gonna get through that. I don't know if it's going to be, it looks like it might be dual POV, we shall see. But I've been waiting for like a year for this book, so I am gonna be really, really interested in getting this one done. So next up is going to be a book we also talked about before for November, for our female character, and that is to basically finish the book in one sitting. So for this, we're obviously going to go for a much shorter, possibly novella type book, for me at least. And so for that, we are reading Noir Moon by Elliot Rose. This is a prologue novella to the series for, I've read Vengeful Gods, which was fantastic. And basically you have this dark mafia world. It involves a reverse harem. There is it's like an MMMF, if that makes sense, in all its varieties. But this one basically has a young woman who is invited to go to this once a year party at the nightclub in Port Macabre, which is kind of the area that's controlled by this like mafia faction, if you will. And she might be up for auction. It's like one of those stories, and basically she says, you know, the last line is, now I find myself at their mercy, three masked strangers who just might end my life if I don't concede to their demands. So this is going to be a dark one. It actually says, yeah, MMFM, why choose, harem, secret society, you know, all of that. Vengeful Gods, extremely explicit spice. The relationship dynamics in Vengeful Gods won me over, because as dark and kind of twisted as they were, they made sense so much for these characters and how they fit together, and I loved that for them. And I really ended up loving that story a lot more than I thought I was going to. So to be back in that world now with like a new group, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, it says it's like 109 pages, so we should be able to get that done in like one sitting. So, you know, might just be one of those times you get an ASMR video out there, put it on some background noise, get a cozy chair, cozy blanket, because it is freezing, and just finish that one up, which will then bring us to December for Magical Year in Aurelium. And for our male character, we are to attempt to pull a, hard to read, a darkly glimmering dagger out of stone, and that's to read a book with a weapon on the cover. And so for that, we are going to get Sunbringer, which I think is book 2 in the Fallen God series, because I think there is a third one coming out in 2025. I read Godkiller and I really enjoyed that. It was very different than what I thought. It gave me very much like Witcher vibes and atmosphere. So I am curious to get back into this one, because the other one left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. So basically, this one says, gods are forbidden in the kingdom of Midran, but now they are stirring, whispering of war. Godkiller Kissin sacrificed herself to vanquish the fire god, I'm assuming it's Seth, who murdered her family and endangered her friends. But gods cannot be destroyed so easily, and Seth's power threatens to reform with even greater strength and a thirst for vengeance. As tensions rise throughout the land, the kingdom needs its godkiller more than ever. Still reeling from the loss of Kissin, young noble Inara and her little god of white lies, Skedi, who honestly was just adorable, have set out to discover more than the true nature of their bond. As the divide between gods and humans widens, Inara and Skedi will uncover secrets that could determine the fate of the war to come. Meanwhile, Elagast, no longer a loyal knight of King Aaron, has been tasked with killing the man he once called friend. The king vowed to eradicate all gods throughout the land, but has now entered into an unholy pact with the most dangerous of them all, and where his heart once beat, a god now burns. So it's going to pick up with what's going on, and obviously if you know the twist at the end of Godkiller, then there's going to be some interesting surprises along the way in this book as well. So this one will be good, and once we get this done, that would complete the year for Farron, and we should be able to get him his own shadow dagger, which is cool, but honestly not going to do much, considering we're going to have a brand new character for whatever their adventures they're going to do. But we will get Farron what he needs to continue on whichever path he goes on. And then for Azraelyn, for her last book, is to attempt to charm the fae you meet with your lovable personality, which honestly Azraelyn does have, and that is to read a romance. So that was easy enough. And I was fortunate enough to get an advanced copy of The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payton Smith. And honestly, this just sounded really good, because, let me see, I think they put the preview in here. Every citizen of England is granted one bargain from their immortal Fae Queen, but Ivy Benton's debut season arrives with a shocking twist, a competition to secure the heart of the Queen's Fae son, Prince Bram. It's a prize that could save Ivy's family from ruin and free her sister from the bargain that destroyed her. Yet every glittering Fae deal has a rotting heart, and at the center of this contest is a dark plot that could destroy everything Ivy knows. So it's going to be really interesting. You got competition. I don't know if it's going to be like kind of a period piece with like a fantasy world inspired like Victorian era or Regency era. We shall see. I'm trying to see if it is, I don't know if this is going to be dual POV. We'll see, but like I said, it's going to be interesting. On the back it says a crown she never wanted, a love she always needed. So obviously there's going to be a competition, there's going to be romance, and we shall see. This book doesn't come out until, I think it says February of 2025, so stay tuned to see how it is. But once we go ahead and finish that one, then Astralyn's going to be all done with her year in Aurelium as well, and she will get the Fey Wilder ring, which basically may or may not be something that ties her to the Fae that she meets. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, who knows what will go on. We will see if we can create a new character and what happens there, and maybe who knows what we'll do. We'll be inventive, we'll be creative. Stay tuned to figure that one out in the new year. But we will try to do all of these and then try to do like a wrap-up video for Year in Aurelium. Like I said, just like we'll have the Cocky Hero one, just like we'll have the Every Romantasy one. And should we finish all of that, then I'm probably just going to sit back and mood read. There are 1 or 2 books that I have my eye on that we may try to do before the year runs out, and then go from there. But yes, December is here. 2024 is coming to a close. It went by, I don't know, it feels like this fall from like September down through December just went by in the blink of an eye. And maybe that's because school got back in session and it was just, you know, boom, 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 boom with all the things you had to get done. But we are doing good. I'm feeling a lot better. If you had checked out like the community on the YouTube page, you would see that I was a little under the weather. It was really weird. I would be like sick one day and then fine, and then a few days later I'd be sick again, and then I was fine, and then lo and behold, like Tuesday night to Wednesday, the days before Thanksgiving, when I was going to film the this video, I was sick again, and luckily it cleared up in time for Thanksgiving, and I've been on the mend since then. So hopefully we are good, and hopefully that's it. I mean, all of them were pretty mild, but still stuffy, coughing kind of thing. But you know what? I would have taken them over, you know, the alternative. So with that being said, stay warm out there, stay hydrated, get yourself your favorite holiday beverages and drinks, treat yourself, be kind to yourself. I know that this month is extremely stressful for many, so just, you know, take it in stride as best you can. Don't forget to breathe, and just, you know, try to be as joyful as you can find in yourself. But also, like I said, be good to yourself and enjoy this holiday season. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.